All right, cooking conspiracy. Yeah, but welcome to Cooking Conspiracy. A little bit earlier than last night, but it's Friday night, so whatever. We're gonna make a pork chop dinner with a nice spinach salad. Serve it with a side of watermelon. So pretty healthy, pretty low carb. What's going on, Glenn? Just got some plain pork chops. We'll season them, of course. But we're just gonna season them right before we put them in the fry pan. Before that, we got routines that we have to keep. But how was your day, Glenn? Cheers. There we go. Something that I was looking for. There. So I got that good to go. Um, yeah. These things happen. Normal work day was good. I got to dress up as the Easter Bunny today at the work picnic, or the spring fling or whatever we want to call it. So it was, you know, traumatized some kids. Some kids seemed to like it. It was all right. All in all, not bad. We're gonna peel about half of a Granny Smith here. And well, careful what you wish for. If I can find somewhere that serves a rabbit, I might roast that in costume, alright? But we'll see. Maybe tomorrow night. Oh man, I needed a break from the heat. Believe it or not, in a literal bunny suit in Hawaii is not the most comfortable thing. I'm gonna turn this apple into matchsticks here. You know. And they don't have to be super small matchsticks or whatever. Oh yeah. But we got the rain out of the way this morning, so it was nice weather and good show out. A lot of people came out with their kids. It was kind of more themed towards children or whatever. Because we kind of have about four big events during the year. One is obviously the holiday, Christmas party, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of adult spouse theme. We have one event that's just for our workers. That's definitely adult theme. Our summer parties usually at the beach, just somewhere in the middle. And of course, we got a couple children's Christmas parties, that type of thing, where somebody's got to be Santa. But that was pretty good. What's up, real deal? Alright, so I got some spinach here, already washed, dried, drained, whatever, into the bowl. Thank you, Glenn. And I'm gonna fight the temptation to add way too much bullshit into the salad, but I got a carrot. And just kind of grate it. Yeah, I haven't seen Swoley in a while, you know. Wonder if something happened. I mean, maybe she found a new man in her life. Oh well, look her up if I'm ever in South Carolina. Touche. Everybody likes a big badonkadonk. I'm assuming you meant that and not just a spelling error for dong. What? Different conversation if that was a typo. Yeah. Just take a handful of those matchstick apples in there. Oh, go ahead. Put half an apple in there, sure. This will probably make 2-3 servings, depending on how big you want to make it. Alright. So I'm going to dress it before I put the cheese on, and it'll be fine. So I've got a lemon here. I'm going to roll it out so it squeezes nicely. Let's start off with 1/4 of a lemon. I think probably we'll use half, but we'll see. Might be a squirter. Yeah. Yeah, that should be about good. Got some olive oil. By edging, you mean non-alcoholic beer, real deal, I'm assuming? Yeah, it's one of the NA IPAs or whatever. Get some olive oil in there. You know what? I'm looking for just some black pepper. I might have to. Couple cracks of black pepper in there. A little bit of salt. And we're just gonna do a good little salad tossing motion there. Oh. I thought I was referring to the Coors Edge that I was drinking the other night. I had no idea what he was playing at. Who would have thought? You sick pervert. Alright. That's what we got there. We got feta cheese. Yeah, you were pushing the edge. It was respectable play. Had to be there. Yeah, sure. I really don't want to re-wipe my hands here. I know the temptations to add a bunch of bullshit. I give a one leaf a taste test here. What's up, Hubert? And then there's a salad. Next thing on our list, we're still trying not to be a fat ass, so we got watermelon. Yeah, I got olives. I don't think you're wrong, real deal, but I'm going to elect not to put olives in it this time. Yeah, well, you're the one that wasn't following the Coors edge, so who really needs to keep up? But no, I still think if you're at a point today where you got a good vocabulary, you're still going to have way more riz and pull way more bitches than anybody that uses the term glizzy. Okay, well, you know. Oh, what's going on, TC? Welcome back. Same watermelon from the other day. It's still good, though. Probably needs to be used today or tomorrow. Won't be quite as good, but it'll be good enough for lay down on a Friday night, you know? You know, missed a bunch. Yeah, don't leave that on the rind. Well, thank you for the education. I mean, I work with mostly sub 30, so I do okay on the current lingo. That sounds like a lovely plan, Kelly. Now, that doesn't happen to be a metaphor for anything, does it? Or which lawn am I watering? What's going on, Texas? We appreciate Texas. Mid 30s is where it's at. What's the sweet spot? Water my lawn. Water. I see what you did there, Kelly. I thought you were making a sex joke. Sorry. No, damn well I'm gonna eat most of this, or I might eat most of it. I might put some of it in the freezer to use for kind of as frozen fruit tomorrow in a smoothie, but it's too damn good. Mhm. Yeah, now the watermelon's set. Normally I don't like seedless, but it was all the store had the other day, and I mean it wasn't bad. Not the best watermelon I've ever had, but it's still pretty good. I mean, I won't say watermelon is quite like pizza, where even bad pizza is still good, but it was a good watermelon. All right. So I guess that gets into about time for the main dish, yeah? I don't know if you can call pork chops main. I mean, it's not a side piece, but definitely not super flashy. Yeah, so I got pork chops, and I know a lot of the times when you like cook a pork chop, it starts to curl up or whatever. That's because the fat, either tightens or loosens, whatever, at a different rate than the protein. Well, we can talk about it. I don't know. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to cut a watermelon, but I'm using the scissors to cut kind of that little fat cap or whatever you call it. You don't want to go all the way into the meat, and you definitely could use a knife to do it. But that should help prevent this from curling up so it lays down evenly as you cook it. I don't know, wonderful. Help me out. Watermelon. I mean, do I get a free pass, TC? That's my question. Mad Dog 2020. Here we go. But, and honestly, one of the better marinades I've done with pork chops, and it's real cheap, real quick, real easy. Just take some of that zesty Italian dressing, put the pork chop in that for a bag for a couple hours, and then just throw them on the grill, and that makes a really nice pork chop, actually. But I didn't plan ahead, got busy today. Didn't season them ahead of time, didn't marinate them or anything like that. So I guess we're gonna get it preheated, and then we're gonna season them. I guess right before we cook them here. So you are fired, Andy. Yeah, well, it's all right. They're not super thick. I was thinking about making Wiener Schnitzel or cutlets with them, and I might do that with the other half of them. But how we're seasoning them, salt. Let's see what we got here. We got garlic powder, sure. I'm gonna try not to go too heavy because it's a seasoning that's gonna burn in the pan, and makes it a little bit harder to get good sear sometimes. Chili powder, sure. And you know what? I was looking for cumin, but I'm not seeing it. So sure, a little bit of black pepper, I said Wiener Schnitzel, not Wieners. Flip it over, give it the same love, same treatment on the back side. Happy Friday. Well, I do appreciate that pass, TC. I'm gonna wait for the opportune time. Those don't come around every day for people like me. There we go. I think that's enough seasoning. I don't want the seasoning to burn, but it'll be okay. Now, stainless steel, you want at the right temperature before you cook, And an easy way you can check is you can drop water in, and if it's the right temperature, it will kind of bead up and just kind of dance around in the pan. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I'm gonna drop water in here. The pan's hot. Okay, it's too hot, So I'll just hold it off. But anyways, water should beat up. It's good to go. We're gonna fry in a little bit of avocado oil, just because I don't want to worry about burning anything or smoke point. Not crazy, we're not deep frying it, but I definitely want the pan lubricated. The oil a second or two to heat up. Oh yeah. Set a timer for about 2.5 minutes, and then we'll come in, we'll flip them, and they cook it for another 2 minutes, and it should be about done. Anonymous. He does have kind of a weird obsession with you, Glenn. Peter North isn't one of your exes, is he? Or maybe he knew the guy that you chopped up on your fishing boat. I don't know. That would explain the obsession. That's what you want to see. Just go ahead and make sure the oil gets back underneath it. Set it over. Put it back in the pan, and we're going to pull out in about 2 minutes or so. On time, as always. little bit of time to burn. How do you check the temperature of the chicken? One, it's pork. And two, taste. Alright. Alright. Happy Friday to the boys and to the crew, and God bless America. Woo. But I know cooking it with the cover on helps it cook a little bit faster. They're not that thick. I've cooked these probably at least 10 times. Maybe 5 in this setup with this pan and this cooker. But you put it on medium, you preheat the pan. For this thickness, it's going to be about 2 minutes aside. And I believe that would be feeling Peter North if I had to bet. But that really isn't necessary, Peter. So guess what? That's what the bottom looks like. That's what the top looks like. Same thing. Same thing. This one's going to be breakfast. Actually, maybe not. But I'll put this one kind of in the ready reserve, you know. Let that rest. It's not like it's a steak or anything, but we'll just let it chill for a minute or two and it'll be fine. Kind of like the texture, yeah. But it's pork, so it's not chicken blend. Let's go ahead and get that salad in there. All right, people. I'm gonna still a A little bit of barbecue dipping sauce there, of course. A little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. Okay. Don't tell me eating healthy is hard. Or, you know, that was a pretty easy dish to make. I mean, what? I'd say that pork's done, wouldn't you? Yeah, pork chop's not making it a breakfast. Eh, on a cheap, less than 1 inch pork chop, I left it rest for about as long as I cooked it for. You don't need to rest your meat longer than you cooked it for. I'll stand on that hill. Cooked it for 5 minutes. I'll rest it for half the time it cooked for and call it good usually. Yeah, Glenn, I hate to say it, I'm kind of on Peter's side. Peter brings up a good point there. Queen Latifah loves Andy. Well, that's nice, Nolan. Good for her. Good for me. I liked her in that movie she did with Adam Sandler, though. I thought that was a good movie. The Hustle or whatever it was called. Where Adam Sandler is a basketball scout, wants to coach or develop talent or something. Goes find the kid in Spain, and then they don't draft him in the Sixers. And yeah, great movie. No, 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 no. I said pork chops. I did not say chicken. Oh, shit. Thin pork chops can be very, very good if you just get the pan nice and hot and season them up pretty good, or in a marinade or whatever, and just slap them on a hot griddle for about a minute aside. Jethro, I'm on board with that. What I'll do a lot of the time, Jethro, is I'll take this size, about this size pork chop, kind of butterfly it, and then I'll beat my meat, and get it real. I did not say it was chicken. I said it was pork chops, man. Pork chop and a spinach salad. No. The tariff thing's gonna blow over. It'll be okay. But for you, Glenn, just for you, I'll do a compare and contrast with the pork chop. Oh, come on. No, that wasn't necessary. But yeah, well, just for you, Glenn, I'm resting pork chop, and I might even cut into it after I finish this one. I'll let you know the difference. Dang. We can't be discouraging thick Latinos from coming onto the channel, Glenn. I think you had a typo in the message, Glenn. I think you were trying to type spike, but it didn't come out as spike. I think it was just a typo, man. Just think, classic mix-up. Probably not. I think Jethro caught what happened. Would you like to explain? I was a little bit confused because it came kind of out of left field. Okay, well, yeah, you had a little typo in that one. That was an unfortunate typo because context uh, kind of made it sound a little bit different than what you were meaning to say. Yeah, I haven't seen a blank in food. Okay, interesting. But a spike makes sense. Penny, no. But you can guess what autocorrect corrected it to. Go to jail. Gotta pay the wiener tax. Jail. Jail. Yeah, I'm trying to get them to wait patiently in their jails while I cook. But yeah, they got their payment. All right. We'll see if there's any difference in the pork chop that's been resting versus one that's for resting for 10 minutes versus one that rested for 3 minutes. I'm going to pour his juices back over it, that drained out. Give this to the dogs, of course. To be honest, no difference in texture between the thin pork chop that I rested for 3 minutes and the one that rested for 12 minutes. Same, same. Quite frankly, I've always found grocery store pork is very easy to make tough and hard to make really, really kind of moist tender or whatever. I found it a lot easier when I went to a butcher and I could actually see them cut off the pig. But some things you can do is you can braise it or whatever and slow cook it on stovetop. That can turn out really good. I might do that tomorrow. Or wiener schnitzel it. One dish that I had in Austria, it was like a chicken cordon bleu type of situation, but they did it with a big old pork chop, and it was excellent. I think so. And I pointed at the screen and they saw it. I told them to go to jail. The dogs. I'm assuming a rouladen is kind of like chicken cordon bleu, but with a pork chop. Also burn themselves on that. Penny enough. Okay. Kind of like if you made a pinwheel steak, but you didn't slice them into steaks. So what you're saying, butterfly this pork chop tomorrow night. Put some cheese and mayo and shit like that. Concur, Glenn. Spinach. Roll up the pork chop and then bake it for the rouladen. Jail, Kiko. Go to jail. So you flatten it, and then after you flatten it, you cut the slit, then you stuff it. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I think I got what you're talking about. I'll have to research it, but pounded, then stuffed, and then breaded. Because if you stuff it or make the slit before you pound it or flatten it or whatever, you're just gonna tear it up. All right. I have to look into that, but I'll be honest, I'm exhausted. The dogs are begging for my attention, so I think I'm gonna call it a night, let them outside, and go to bed. But thank you all for joining, Jethro, Peter, Glenn. Glad to have y'all. Anybody else that stopped by, TC, Nick G, Oh, yeah. I can give you a little tummy rub for you. I guess I can do that. See you later, guys. See you, Nick. Good night, guys.